Today we're going to do another example of a linear function, and we're trying to show that the limit as x approaches 3, the function 3 of x is equal to 9. Let us recall the definition. The limit as x approaches c, f of x equals L. This implies for all epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta such that if the absolute distance between x as it approaches c is less than delta and greater than 0, then the absolute distance between the function and the limit is less than epsilon. Right. Let's begin the proof. Given an epsilon greater than 0, we're going to choose a delta. We don't know delta yet. And suppose, right, that this condition is less than delta. We're now going to check. And to do this, we're going to work from this conclusion backwards to arrive at this hypothesis. We need to get this conclusion to look like that. So we begin by saying 3x minus 9. This is equal to 3, factoring out the x, we've got the 3. And then taking the absolute value of 3 times the absolute value of x minus 3. The absolute value of 3 is just 3 times x minus 3. Okay. We know something about x minus 3. It's less than delta. So therefore, we can write that as 3 times delta. Okay? And don't forget, our goal is to reach epsilon. So therefore, we can write 3 times epsilon over 3. Epsilon over 3. You will notice the 3's will cancel, giving us epsilon. So therefore, we can conclude this is our delta. And therefore, we end the proof. We go back to here and we write down the delta that we have just chosen. What this means, for any given epsilon, that means epsilon is positive, we can find a delta that will work. In other words, if I draw a quick sketch, right, this is a graph of y equals 3x. It passes through the origin, like so. And this is our point somewhere on the x-axis. That's our limit point. And at that point, we get an output f of x equals 9. If we plug 3 into this function, we get this output 9. The next thing we need to do is to find, if I draw a horizontal line here. Let's call this 3 plus delta and call that 3 minus delta. In other words, as long as we find a delta within this region, as long as we can find a delta within this region, that will work. Here we've got epsilon, 9 minus epsilon, 9 plus epsilon. It's inside this tolerance that we need to find a delta that will work. I hope this video helps you. I will be posting another one shortly. Thank you for watching.